I wanted to get a clarification earlier. One of my colleagues asked you, have you seen anti-Muslim protests on campus?
I have seen, we have had pro-Israeli demonstrations on campus.
No.
But
just
not
a protest that was
not,
against Muslims.
No, I have
Have you
not
seen one against Arabs?
No, I have not.
Have you seen one against Palestinians?
No, I have not.
Have you seen one against Jewish people?
You guys know the drill by now. Whenever the squad gets a university president in the hot seat, they're usually looking for one thing, a viral TikTok moment. They want the deer in headlights look. They want the stumble. But today, Rep. Ilhan Omar tried that playbook on Columbia University President Minouche Shafik. And let's just say, she picked the wrong target. If you want to see what happens when performative politics runs headfirst into actual adult leadership, you need to watch this clip. Did Omar get her gotcha moment? Or did she just get a masterclass in how to run an Ivy League school during a crisis? Let's watch.
Have you seen a protest saying we are against Jewish people?
No, I have seen.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. There has been a rise in targeting and harassment against anti-war protesters because it's been pro-war and anti-war protesters is what it seems like, correct?
Correct. There has been.
Okay, thank you. Activists on campus, including Jewish students, Black and Brown, Arab and Muslim students. How many of the organizations that were canceled in Columbia involved Jewish students?
One of the organizations is called Jewish Voices for Peace.
Yes, and encompassed of Jewish students?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. There was there's been a recent attack on the democratic rights of students across the country. I was appalled to learn that in April, Columbia suspended and evicted 6 students for their involvement in the pro-Palestinian panel event on campus. It happened that all 6 students were arbitrarily targeted after the university brought in a team of private and former police investigators. These investigators harassed, intimidated Palestinian students at their homes, demanding to see students' private text messages and sent threatening emails to the leaders of those pro-Palestinian groups. I would like to ask you to speak a little bit more to this situation and ask you if you guys have utilized private former police investigators before, or is this the first time?
So this was a very serious case. We had students who, on an online
If you could
call,
shorten your answer, that would be really appreciated.
of course, who invited people who were inciting violence, and that is unacceptable. And so we needed to get to the bottom of it, and so that's why we brought private investigators along with notifying the FBI.
How secure were you these students that you evicted and suspended were involved? Did you do any investigation? Was there a hearing?
They refused to cooperate with the investigation, and so until they do so, they are suspended.
Okay, thank you. And then in January, there was an incident involving students that were protesting that were attacked with a toxic chemical substance, leaving many hospitalized. A lot of them did not receive support from the school administrators. Can you speak to what is happening with the investigation, if you all are cooperating, and why weren't the students provided any support after they've experienced that attack?
So this is still with the police, and as far as we know, we think it was an odorous substance, and we did reach out to all of those students who said they were affected. Many of them didn't want support. We also
It took you guys more than 4 days to reach out to students.
No, I don't believe that's correct.
Okay, will you
actually.
respond, give me a written response with the fact that you all responded right away to those students?
Yes, I would be happy to do that.
All right, appreciate that. And it looks like there's been a lot of doxing and harassment that has taken place. What protections are a student being provided?
We created a doxing resources group to support students. There were many students who were affected by this. Muslim students, Jewish students, and completely, other students. That group has, we had 90 students reach out to that group to get support in terms of both technical support, legal support, privacy scrubbing, and so on.
And before I run out of time, I wanted to ask what do your rules say about professors that harass students online, like Professor Shai Davidar has done, and professors who directly attack you as the president as a coward and a liar?
So, as president, I'm used to being attacked, but attacking our students is unacceptable. And in that case, we've had more than 50 complaints about that professor, and he is currently under investigation.
Okay, welcome back. Wow. First off, can we just appreciate the difference in temperature here? You have Rep. Omar coming in hot, very aggressive, very specific with her framing, and then you have President Shafiq, calm, collected, not taking the bait. If you follow American politics, you know this is the classic squad tactic. Whether it's AOC or Rashida Tlaib or Omar, the strategy is usually to trap witnesses in a box of the Congresswoman's own making. But Shafiq refused to get in the box. Right out of the gate, Omar tries to conflate anti-war protests with anti-Muslim protests. She asks, "Have you seen anti-Muslim protests?" Now, a weaker leader might have panicked and said, "Oh yes, of course, hate is everywhere," just to sound empathetic. But Shafiq doesn't do that. She distinguishes between political speech and hate speech. She says, "No, I've seen pro-Israeli demonstrations." She refuses to let Omar rewrite the reality of what's happening on the ground. She's basically saying, "We are allowed to have political disagreements without you labeling them as hate crimes." That is a crucial distinction that gets lost in Washington, D.C., but it matters on a college campus. Then we get to the part that's going to light up Twitter. Omar is appalled. She clutches her pearls as Columbia used private investigators. She frames it like some dystopian spy movie where poor, innocent students are being stalked. But let's look at the facts Shafiq laid out. These weren't kids studying in the library. These were individuals accused of inciting violence. Here is where I think Shafiq wins the argument for the average American. If you have people on your campus threatening safety, breaking rules, and refusing to cooperate with standard investigations, what is a president supposed to do? Just shrug? No. You hire the pros, you find out who they are, you keep the other 30,000 students safe. Omar tries to frame accountability as harassment. Shafiq rightly reframes it as safety. If you break the rules and threaten people, you don't get to hide behind anonymity. That's not harassment, that's law and order. Finally, the ending. This was the mic drop moment for me. Omar brings up Professor Shai Davidai, a vocal pro-Israel professor. She's clearly trying to paint Shafiq as biased, implying, "Oh, you punish the pro-Palestinian kids, but you let the pro-Israel professor run wild." And what does Shafiq say? She doesn't defend him. She doesn't dodge. She just drops the hammer. He is under investigation. We have 50 complaints and we are handling it. You could see the wind go out of Omar's sails. That is the definition of neutrality. Shafiq proved she isn't on Team Israel or Team Palestine. She is on Team Columbia. She is applying the rules to everyone, tenured professors included. Look, the squad is great at generating sound bites. They are great at passion. But running a university isn't about passion. It's about policy. Minouche Shafiq showed up today not as a politician, but as an administrator who actually knows what she's doing. She didn't crumble. She didn't apologize for keeping her campus safe, and she didn't let a congresswoman dictate the narrative. In a room full of people screaming for attention, the most powerful person was the one speaking softly. Let me know in the comments. Do you think the use of private investigators was too far, or was it necessary to stop the violence? Like and subscribe for more breakdown.